Okay.
Wait, don't leave. Walk me through the.
I just want to make sure that
Walk me through the
go to the
meeting
participants. Admit. There you go. Okay, now you're in the right place. Now go to click on Arcane and admit.
Yeah.
So you have to admit people one by one.
Right. Okay, but now fix the thing
Okay,
about.
so go to mute all. The bottom. And then deselect that. All right, cool. And then you have to allow that person in.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. All right, you're in. Yeah. I mean, you should be okay. It was a meeting after the process. I'm going to close my door until it starts. Yeah. Huh? You're good. I'm good. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to wait a few more minutes and then we'll get started.
Shanna, can you hear me? Oh, okay.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to get started. My name is Shanna Warren. I'm the CEO for the Boys and Girls Club. I want to thank all of you for being with us this evening. We're going to respect everyone's time and try to go through this and be done at the latest by 7 o'clock. I'm going to keep everyone muted so that we can go through our updates for you. You can type questions into the chat box, and when we get to the Q&A at the end, I will go through and answer all of the questions. And then I can also unmute at that time if any of you have any questions and are unable to type into the chat box. I'm going to let a couple more people in. Okay, we got 2 more people joining us. So again, just want to welcome all of you. And the first area that we're going to cover is safety. So I'm going to ask Lupe, who is our Director of Operations, to provide a safety update to all of you on our programs.
Okay, thank you, Shanna. All right, everyone. Again, my name is Lupe Herrera. I'm the Vice President of Operations, and one of my responsibilities is to oversee the safety of our program. So I hope I'm going to do my best to cover all our safety procedures. As a parent, I understand that it could be a bit nerve-wracking to send our children back in person to an all-day care facility. So, on behalf of the Boys and Girls Club, thank you for considering and entrusting the club to take care of your child beginning next week. So I'm going to go over the current policies, safety policies and procedures that we have in place at Boys and Girls Club of Burbank. The first thing that I would just want to reiterate and just remind parents that currently the Boys and Girls Club, because we are child care license exempt and we are not an educational institution, such as like we're not under the district. We are a nonprofit organization. So because of that, we have the ability to continue operating under the LA County Department of Public Health guidelines as day camp. So with that, saying that, our ratio for day camp it's a 1-to-20 ratio, as long as we can socially distance in the room. So although we are able to operate at a 1-to-20, we also have to be able to socially distance 6 feet apart. So parents will see that certain pods will have 20, certain other pods may have 15 or maybe less. So it all depends on the room and our capacity. So the first thing is we will have to make sure that the kids can safely social distance. Another thing with the pods and our ratios, I just want to remind the parents that regardless of age, if you are sending, just say you have more than one child attending our program, they will be placed in the same pod. Okay, this is just to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 or exposure. So in the event that your household were to be unfortunately tested positive, both of your children would be in the same pod opposed to keeping them separate in different pods. So that is just something that we put in place, and that's also a guideline from the County Department of Public Health. Another thing too that we're going to do in our pods is everyone will have assigned seating, and there will be 6 feet social distancing. So we are going to reconfigure the classrooms and the program departments at our main club facility, everyone to maintain 6 feet apart while they're doing their virtual learning and while they do any BGC enrichment programs. In addition to our ratios, I just want to remind our parents that all of our staff are CPR and first aid certified. We just recently did another online virtual training yesterday as a refresher. So everyone on staff, that's actually in our safety policy, and it's mandatory that all of our staff are CPR first aid certified. In addition to this, the CPR first aid, all of our staff have been trained and they have all reviewed the COVID-19 procedures and protocols that we have in place in our program. In addition to the training, another thing that we have done in the classroom and at the clubhouse is we also have installed air purifiers in each classroom and department. So that would also increase the airflow inside the classrooms. Another thing, just going into our protocols and our procedures, it's just important that parents understand that if your child, for whatever reason, is not feeling well, they have a cough or they have been sneezing frequently, we recommend that they stay home. We don't want to take any chances. The symptoms for COVID-19, it's a very long list of symptoms, and at times members or staff may experience one or maybe nothing at all, but we just want to be safe and just take that extra step of just being careful and preventative, that if your child is not feeling well, that has experiencing any cold or flu-like symptoms or just feeling sick in general, it's best that you just let us know, call us and say, today my child will not be attending the club, they're not feeling well, and that we recommend that they stay home. And that's the same thing for our staff. We direct our staff to, if anything, if they have a cough or itch in their throat, whatever it may be, they have to notify management, and then we go and we send them to go get tested when they feel like they're having COVID-19 symptoms. And then they go get tested, and then depending on the results, they either self-isolate for 14 days, or if they come back negative and there's been no exposure, they are allowed to return to work. So that is just something across the board that we ask our staff and our parents, just to be very mindful and very careful of your symptoms. And if you're not feeling well, please stay home. The one thing that I do want to cover is our practices that we have implemented at our club. This is something that we've been doing since March, when the whole COVID-19 pandemic started. So just so you know, for all your parents, Shanna and I have been doing this since the very beginning. So we have a lot of experience, and we have a lot of other clubs and even school districts have reached out to us for guidance and how to reopen safely. So that's something that we're very proud of, and it's been a lot of work and stressful at times, but we just want to let the parents know that this is something that we've been doing since March. And one thing, as you will notice, that when you arrive with your child, the first thing is your child will be screened, okay? And that actually is the temperature checks. We have infrared thermometers, so it's the non-touch. And we will also ask depending on where you're sending your child, if it's the main club, will be the front office manager or the staff at the sites. They will ask you a series of questions. It would be basically, have you had a fever in the last couple of days? Have you been exposed to anyone with COVID-19? Have you had a cough? Have you been experiencing shortness of breath? That is just something as practice that as staff that we ask our parents prior to dropping off your child at the clubhouse. So that is very important. So what we ask parents is, when you drop off your child, you have to stay there until your child is clear to enter through our club doors. The next thing is, we just want to let the parents know that the club is also providing PPE supplies for our staff and members. So we have masks, we have gloves. For our staff, we have shields. And we also recommend, and it's mandatory, that the parents also send their child with a mask. And we get it. There may be rough mornings where, you know, parents are in a rush and the parents forget to pack their mask. We have extra. We have plenty at the club, but we just want to make sure that the parents also know that it's their responsibility to send their child with the face covering. And that's for the staff as well. We are required to wear our mask the entire time that we are at the club. The only thing that I just want to remind the parents is something that and I'll be very honest, that parents have been very critical of us, is when they pass by the park or they see the kids in the playground and they see the kids without their mask. And I just want to remind the parents that it is a guideline and we are following the recommendations of LA County. The children are allowed to remove their mask during any outdoor and strenuous play. So if one day you're driving by Bret Hart and you see a group of kids outside having fun without their mask, it is okay to do so. We are allowed to do that. The kids are also allowed to remove their mask, and staff, when we are eating. So when it's snack, if they need to drink water or have their lunch, they are allowed to remove their mask while they do that as well. And meanwhile, maintaining 6 feet social distancing. So that is very, very important. The next thing is—
Lupe, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Go ahead.
Shirley just reminded me, if any of you have a child that is not comfortable in a mask and they prefer a face shield, you can also send your child with the face shield as well. I believe Priscilla sent this out a while ago. But if your child prefers a face shield, that is acceptable to us as well.
Yes, thank you, Shanna. Another thing too that I just want to also remind the parents that and it's a team effort. We also ask the parents to remind their child that as soon as they arrive at the club, tell them to wash their hands. The staff do the same thing too. As soon as we arrive at the club, we wash our hands. As soon as the club member walks into their pod, we let them know, like, hey, please go wash your hands. So that's very important. Hygiene is a major component to combat transmission of COVID-19. I also want to just let everyone know that we have plenty of hand sanitizer throughout our classrooms and our main club. We have plenty of soap. We also have hand wipes inside each staff bathroom and member bathroom. So what we tell our members is once they're finished using the restroom and they wash their hands, we also ask them to grab a sanitary napkin and wipe down the fixtures that they've used prior to exiting the restroom. Now, also, along with the bathroom, we have monitored bathroom breaks. It's 2 children at a time, and they're monitored. So they go as a group. They're always supervised. The staff member does not go into the restroom. They wait outside the restroom. And that is just a way to make sure that the kids, are following the rules 2 at a time, that they can hear the faucet turning on, that they're washing their hands. And as they exit, the staff member also reminds them, hey, did you wash your hands for 20 seconds? If not, go back in there and wash your hands again. So our bathroom breaks are monitored. And this is something that we do at the club sites, the main club and the school sites. So this is a policy that we have across the board, even outside of COVID-19. We've always had monitored bathroom breaks. The next thing is hand washing. We encourage frequent hand washing. Earlier when the pandemic had just started, we were directed that hand washing had to take place every hour. And as you can imagine, that was very difficult because we would have to stop doing what we were doing, line the kids up, send them to the restroom to wash their hands. And that alone was a 30-minute process. So now with the guidelines from the Department of Health is frequent hand washing breaks. So what does that mean? That is upon entering the clubhouse, before and after every meal, and after a project is completed, a program the program, after they complete their program, we line them up to go wash their hands. If we notice that they sneezed and they sneeze into their hands, we go and tell them, please go wash your hands with soap and sanitize your hands. So that is one thing that changed from every hour. It's frequent hand washing breaks or as needed. Another thing too is the daily disinfectant that we do as staff. So the staff members, not the kids, we are required to disinfect our area every hour. So we have our cleaning products, we have the disinfectant wipes that we do as staff every hour. The only time your child will be asked to wipe down is their materials that they've used. So if it's their computer, their headsets, any program supplies that were in their space, we will ask them to please sanitize that area that they used. But everything else, we do the chairs, we do the tables, we do the doorknobs, everything that's kind of like the high traffic areas that are used frequently, that is something that we sanitize every hour. In addition to the hourly cleaning, we also contracted a cleaning company. They come nightly. So when we close our club, the night crew comes in and they have a special COVID-19 disinfectant cleaner, and they come in and they do another thorough cleanse throughout the clubhouse. So any of the parents that had questions about how much we clean the club, just saying, that is done every hour, and then it's professionally cleaned by a maintenance crew every night, Monday through Friday.
Thank you, Lupe. I'm going to keep us on time track since I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I see a few of you are typing in questions. I'm answering them as we go. Is there any last minute thing you want to mention before I turn it over to our membership team?
Yeah, just one thing to remind your kids, when they come in, we want them to have fun. We want them to have a normal program experience. I know things are very different and it's difficult, but just have that conversation with your children and remind them that we're not hugging anymore. We can't do the high fives. but we can do the virtual hugs and the, you know, the high fives, you know, the air high fives. But I just that's all I can say, is just to encourage your kids to just have fun and let loose and have a positive experience at the Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Lupe. And I'm going to turn it over to Jenny, our Chief Financial Officer, and Sergio, our Assistant Membership Director.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jenny Shi. I am the controller of the club, or the CFO of the club. And I welcome everybody to join us tonight. So many of you already know our enrollment process, which is go to our website, www.bjcburbank.org. Click membership, click parent portal. So we require all the parents register on our parent portal. Two things I want to remind you all is that before this year, we changed our pricing, or the way we charge our, we run our program, which is bi-weekly, so you have more flexibility. So once you log in the parent portal, always make sure that you already, if you haven't already add the registration to the cart, then you go to the program that you want to enroll your child and select the week that you want your child to attend. That's number one. And number two is that we strongly recommend you all to enroll the next week's program by the end of 5 p.m. Friday. That will allow enough time for our staff to run the roster and for us to plan for the next week's staffing. And then lastly, I want to let you know that the financial aid is available. When you're turning financial aid, please make sure that all the documents are, required documents are submitted. That way we can better assist you. Okay. So Shana, that's it.
Sergio, do you have anything to add? You're
Hi,
good.
everybody. My name is Sergio, and I'm the member assistant director. I'm the person that usually answers the phone when there's a problem with the enrollment process. If you ever need any assistance walking through parent portal, I'm the person you can reach out to. But like Jenny said, you're always able to enroll through our website, bgcburbank.org, B as in boy, G as in girl, C as in club, burbank.org. If there's ever an issue with any location, let's say something's not working out with your program that you you can always reach out to me. My phone is 818-842-333 extension 13, and I'll be more than happy to work something out with you guys and put your locations for the time being.
Thank you, Sergio. Okay, next I'm going to turn it over to Arpane and Surly, and they're going to go over what the day is going to look like. Okay, Arpane, you are unmuted.
Okay, thank you, Shana. Hi, everyone. Surly couldn't join us today, so I'm going to speak on behalf of Surly and myself. So my name is Arpane. I'm the program director for the club. First and foremost, I just wanted to go over the sites that we will be operating at this for fall. Bret Hart, Stevenson, two of our Burbank housing corporations, which is Elmwood and Grismer. All locations will be open from 7:30 in the morning to 6 p.m. Bret Hart and Stevenson, TK through 5th grade, and main club TK through 12th, and BHC programs will be kinder through 8th grade. I also wanted to mention that our membership director, Priscilla, will be sending an email to parents before Monday to let you guys know everything that you need to send your child with on Monday, which is laptops, headset, writing materials, copy of their virtual class schedule. This is key because this is how we'll be able to really help your child log in to their classes and really help them the best way that we can. The teacher email, pretty much anything that you can provide that will help us I believe this form, the credentials, passwords, and the form was on our parent portal and on our PIC. So if you guys are able to fill that information out and bring it with your child on Monday, so then that way we can get them set up as soon as possible. Our goal is for them to log in 10 minutes before their classes start. So if you guys can bring them in by 7:30 on Monday until we get the hang of things, that would be great. So what a day would look like. As you guys know, virtual learning is from 8 in the morning to 2:30 p.m. Staff will do their best to, get the kids on onto their classes and provide all the support that they need. After 2:30, it will be a BGC day, right? So this is where the kids will get to do all of the fun programs, outdoor play, triple play, fine arts. A lot of the kids love the arts, love the STEM, so they will get to participate in all of that. We really want to make it as fun as possible for them because we know they've been in quote unquote school, for hours. So that's when they will be doing all that fun stuff. And on Fridays, will be more of that since Fridays are not the virtual learning. I also wanted to say that we all know how crazy this whole situation is, right? We're all learning, we're all in this together. So we just ask that you guys are patient with us as we learn along the way with you, and just give us a chance to really learn this process. And I have no doubt that come week 2 that we'll really master this. So it's just a matter of time. And one thing that I wanted to mention is the lunch. So it's really important for you guys to know that actually the kids will be eating their lunch and snack at their desks, and then this is what we think that this is the best way to keep it as clean and sanitized as possible to not really have a cross contamination. So we will make sure that their areas are sanitized before lunch and after lunch, and we will be doing, as Lupe mentioned, we will be doing this every hour as well. I don't have anything else, but I did want to provide my email address if any of you guys wanted to contact me. I am at the main club, so if your child attends the main club, I'm more than happy to receive any calls or emails from you. My email is arpineh@bgcburbank.org, and I will also make sure that you guys have that information. I'll make sure Surly provides that information as well. And Surly, who is in charge of the site, she's the area director. Her email is Surly, SERI, Mehrabian, which is MEHRABIAN @bgcburbank.org. So if your child is attending the sites, you will see Surly a lot because she will be overseeing the sites, Bret Harte and Stevenson.
Arpine, can you please type in your email and Surly's email into the chat box?
Yes.
And just to answer a couple questions that I see that are coming in, and just to reiterate, we almost have the same information that you do, and we're getting it, just kind of the same timeline that you are. So I don't want to say like we're making this up as we go along, but we're making this up as we go along. And I think that the district is doing that, our parents are doing that. We're doing the best we can. And it's going to be very bumpy the first few weeks. I mean, we've never done anything like this. We absolutely will not be replacing the teachers. We can't. Our main goal is to provide a safe place for our club members to go and to help them navigate all of this. I know I have 2 children of my own. Many of us work from the home or we're working at work, and we want our children to be set up for success. And so what we're offering to do is the best we can to help them navigate all of this. I know a lot of you have questions about, well, I have a 4th grader or this grade and we have 2 children. You're going to get an email from Priscilla, and it's going to remind you of all of the information that we need from you before you start, which is your child's Zoom schedule, the login information for their device. And we're going to do the best we can. The good news is we're starting out small, so our pods will be very small, which is good because it'll give us time to kind of figure all of this out. So again, please have patience with us. Send your child with their device, with their login information, with their schedules, and we're going to be doing this together. We're in constant contact with the district. They are aware of everything we're doing. We're a team in this, and again, we're going to do the best we can. So I'm not going to have very detailed answers on a lot of this. I hear some of you are still waiting to even get schedules. So please be patient with us. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it over. Let's see. That's it. That gets us through safety, registration, what the day is going to look like, questions. Okay. So let me see. I've been trying to answer them as I go. Some of you want to know about our what holidays and what days off we're going to be. You know, obviously we follow the school schedule as much as possible. We haven't even had time to think about winter break. We'll figure that out. I mean, most of you that have been with us a long time know that when the school is not open, we're open, and that we always try to adjust our schedule to pupil-free days. And I don't see why we would do anything different now. So I would assume if there's a pupil-free day, that we're still going to be open, and that would probably just give us all a nice breather for a day. And again, as we have more information and we go week by week, we will update you on days off and vacations and all of that. Again, we're starting off small. Initially, we were going to open a couple more sites at Jefferson and Edison, but we really need to be able to have enough kids enrolled to be able to do this. I think many of you know we're a nonprofit, so the fees that come in go directly to pay for the staffing. It's been very challenging for us. Not sure you're all aware. I think we were the only childcare provider in our community that has stayed open since mid-March, and it's been really, really hard. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with Main Club. We're going to start with Bret Hart. We're going to start with Stevenson. And then as we get kids signed up, we can go to as many schools as we need to. We have the district's blessing, but we just need kids to sign up. And so I think the next few weeks will be good because it's still pretty small, and we're hoping that we can iron out a lot of the kinks as we go. Let me see if I can figure out, I'm going to unmute everyone if I can figure this out. See if you all try unmuting your line, see if I did this right. Someone say something to me. Nope. Okay, hold on. Okay, how about now?
We're on.
Yay!
Hey, everyone.
Just to make it so it's not too crazy, maybe if you have a question, so we're not all talking at the same time, maybe raise your hand and I'll look for a hand. Okay, Patricia, I see you.
No, I was just testing. That's it.
Oh, okay.
There's a feature that has raise hand, I think.
Oh, well, okay. I don't know if I can navigate that fast, but okay, let's see. Does anyone have a question? Mimi.
Yes, I have a question. So you said that the ratio is 1
I'm sorry?
You don't see the kittens?
to 20
Mm-hmm.
for the kids. So if there's 20 kids and one staff, how are they going to be able to help the kids, like log in and do their virtual learning?
Well, first of all, that's not the amount of kids that we have now. I don't expect we will get that high for each pod, and there's not just one staff member.
Oh, okay. So there's more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That was my question.
Let's see. Is anybody else raising a hand? A lot of people are on their phones. Anybody else have a question? Oh, Hillary, yes. Unmute yourself, Hillary.
I have a question. Can I ask?
Who is?
I got it. I'm sorry.
Okay, Hillary, go ahead, and then Annie will do you next.
How are you guys organizing the pods? Are you doing it by age? Could you hear me? No?
Can you hear?
Waiting for Lupe. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're organizing the pods. So basically, ideally, we would want to situate our pods based on grade level. It would be much easier to manage if we can have maybe kinders and first in one pod, maybe second and third in the second pod. The challenge that we're facing right now is the enrollment. Tomorrow is the last day to enroll. So tomorrow we will have a better idea of how the pods will look like. But what we're doing is we're going to do the best we can to combine pods based on grade level. And another thing too, just as a reminder, if you have more than one child, let's say you have a child in middle school and one child in second grade, they will be in the same pod. So they're going to be based on, if they're siblings, they'll be placed in the same pod, and then we're going to do our best by putting them together by grade level.
So then when they're grouped together by age, in terms of like different grades are going to be doing different schedules with the Zoom classrooms and stuff, is there going to be an issue with the kids all being in the same room but having different Zoom schedules?
That's why it's really important that they come with their headsets. And again, that's going to be something where we're going to have to see how it goes, and we're going to have to try it out. I'm hoping that with having them on their headsets and having the extra staff there, that we'll be able to navigate it. And again, the pods are starting off small, so hopefully that will help us figure all this out.
Thank you.
Patricia.
There we go. There we go. What about school supplies? Are the kids allowed to keep their school material at, well, in this case, main club or at the site, or will they be taking it on a daily basis?
So every member will have assigned seating. So it would be safe to say that the members can leave their supplies at the club. And as long as it is labeled, so that's something that's going to be indicated on the parent email that's going to be sent out tonight, is we just want to make sure that whatever materials and supplies you're sending your child with at the club, that everything is labeled with their name, first name and last name, and grade level. So that it's very important. So once everything is labeled, yes, they are allowed to keep their materials and supplies at the main club or at the school site, because they will have.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I would say that siblings, yes, could help each other, especially since they're going to be in the same pods. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, I think everyone's clear, but just in case, even though we're saying our sites are Bret Harte, Stevenson, and Main Club, if you happen to go to Miller or Edison, you can still attend any of our locations. We just couldn't open up every site. And so what we're doing is kind of like what we do for summer, for any of you that are with us for summer. And regardless of what school you go to, you can go to Bret Harte, Stevenson, or the Main Club.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
I just want to know each grade, like from different schools, all third graders or fourth graders, they have same schedule? Do you know? Or it's different?
It's different.
For the same grade but different schools, it's our understanding that it's part of the teacher's agreement with the union that they get to set that, so it's going to be different.
Wow.
Not easy.
No, not at all. No.
The other thing is, and Lupe and I have talked about this a lot, and I think because our communication with the district is good, they're going to have to be flexible. And, you know, we were even talking about what if a child has to do an assignment during the course of their virtual class, and then the teacher says, okay, you need to take a picture and you need to send it. How are we going to navigate that when when we have all of these kids? So we're going to be communicating with Peter, who oversees all of the elementary programs and all of the after school programs. We're going to be communicating with him, and they're going to have to know that we're doing the best we can. And for the kids that are attending Boys and Girls Club, they're going to have to work with us. So if the child can't take the picture until they get home, then they're going to have to be okay with that. I'm very confident that they want to work with you and want to work with us. So just know that Lupe and I are in constant contact with him, and he's very supportive of what we're trying to do. So I think that a lot of these things will get worked out, and we will have patience from the teachers. Anybody else have any other questions?
I do. Can you guys hear me?
Let's see.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Jody? No?
Yes, yes.
What will playtime be like, or any kind of free time? Like, how will that work with the kids running around, and what kind of guidelines and boundaries, I guess, will the kids be given for, when they're out on the playground?
Okay, so I can answer that question, because it's gonna be very similar as how we operated during summer and in the spring semester when the whole COVID pandemic started. We are encouraging and we are making time for our kids to go outside and get some sunlight, because they're going to be indoors pretty much the entire day. So everything that we're doing outside, any type of activity, it's non-contact activity. So basketball is out of the question, soccer is out of the question. So it's really whatever that they can do one-on-one. So it's going to be more like what we did in the summer. We held clinics, and that kind of allowed us to have the kids to have fun, and then at the same time social distance. We can do some relay racing. Each pod will have their own set of recreational equipment. So that's another thing I forgot to mention, that each pod will have their own supplies for recreation. So it will not be shared with another pod. It would only be designated for that specific pod. So they'll have their own jump rope, the hula hoops. So everything will be designated for the staff, for the club member, and will be done outdoors. In addition to what we have at the clubhouse, I don't know if you're familiar with Main Club, but we have a play field that allows us to have those type of activities. But we also are working with the city to, again, contract for Luddigan Park. That's something that we do during the summer, and the kids actually love it. They enjoy going to the park. So just as a reminder, when we do implement that schedule where we go to park in the afternoon, all the gyms are off limits. So again, only the green space that we will use. And at the school sites, it applies the same. It's the green space is what we are allowed to use. But all the activities have to be safely conducted, and kids are required to socially distance. I hope I've answered your question.
You did, and I'm also curious. Can you hear me?
Yes.
If somebody were to test positive, a student or a staff member, what's the protocol?
So what the protocol, what we do is okay, let me backtrack. If a staff member were to be tested positive, the staff member has to self-isolate, and they're not allowed to attend the club for 14 days, and they have to retest. The same thing would go for the club member. If a club member were to test positive, the club member may not return to the club for 14 days and will have to provide some documentation that they have retested and tested negative. And with that, we also have to inform everyone in that pod that the child was potentially exposed to someone that tested positive for COVID-19. And that is the procedure that we've been following this time. And when we someone does test positive, we ask parents to please just monitor any symptoms that they may have. But that is one thing that we do is we notify the parents and the staff member, and then they are expected to stay home and self-isolate for 14 days.
What about if a symptom is shown during the day?
So if a symptom is showing, so in our guidelines for the LA County Department of Public Health, if someone is having symptoms, they have to notify us immediately. This is the staff member. If they're having symptoms, notify management. We send them to go get tested. And then they have to self-isolate while they wait for their results. If a club member appears to have symptoms or look ill, we have to self-isolate the child while we call the parents, and the parents will have to pick them up, and then we'll tell the parents, please go have your child get tested. So that is what we have in place. So for each club site, the program staff have to determine a room or a space where, in the event that we need to self-isolate a child, that would be the spot that we would send the child to, and supervised, of course, while the parent is able to pick their child up to get tested.
At a location like Stevenson, is there room in the 2 classrooms to place students, 20 students 6 feet apart, or will it be a smaller pod for those locations?
So going back to that, our ratio is 1:20, but as long as we can social distance.
Okay.
So yeah, so we have to reconfigure the classroom. And I believe for Stevenson, we are able to safely social distance with 20 kids in the classroom. They are pretty large bungalows. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Just going back to lunch.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because our daughter was in camp during the summer, and I at Bret Harte, and I thought they were eating lunch at the picnic tables. So am I to understand for the school year they would be eating inside at their desks?
Yes, and the reason why is because of the virtual schedule. It's going to vary between student. So we do not have the capacity to have another staff member walk them outside while they lunch. So this is why everyone has to eat at their desk and snack at their desk. And it's much safer that way, I believe.
But they're inside with everyone inside with Microsoft?
It's supervised, yeah.
And that is what the district has asked us to do.
I have a question. Sorry. Can I ask you?
Go ahead, Annie.
Yes, I need to know, the kids have to come with their club shirt or whatever they like.
Honestly, I'm just happy to have them there, and I think that's already like another something to put on them. So I'm going to say that I'm fine with them coming in whatever they can. The big thing about the club shirt is field trips, and I don't think we're going to the aquarium anytime soon.
No,
I would say whatever they're comfortable in is, my only thing is they got to have closed-toed shoes on. But other than that, let them come and be comfortable.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If the kids are stuck on some of their classwork, will the staff be able to potentially assist them, or are the staff not allowed to get involved with the kids' work at all?
No, we're allowed to get involved. I think that the most important thing to recognize is, again, that we're limited in what we can do. So our big priority is getting them logged in and making sure that they're participating, that they're paying attention. If they have any technical difficulties, we're going to do our best to help them. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to replace the tutor, but we'll do our best to help them.
Okay, thank you. And just thanks very much, guys, for everything you do and enabling our children to socially interact with each other. It's invaluable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Someone had typed that they had a question about drop-off. I'm not sure what the drop-off question was. I think we mentioned earlier that the parents are not able to go in. They need to wait while their child has their temperature checked. And once we have okayed their child, then the parent can leave. So if there's another drop-off question, I suggest you reach out to ARPA or Surly with it. Does anyone else have any questions? I want to respect our time. We've got 10 minutes left. Casey.
Oh, hello. Thank you. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Firstly, thank you so much for doing this and for also holding this Q&A session. I really appreciate the transparency and the access that you're giving us to this information. I wanted to know, I think maybe I missed it. I had heard that there is a ratio of 1 to 20, but that might not be the ratio of staff to children. So maybe I missed it somewhere, but do you have, I know that the numbers are still coming in, but are you targeting an adult to child ratio at this time?
So our normal ratio is 1 to 15. That's, you know, before COVID. I don't foresee us having more than 15 kids in a pod unless something was to drastically change. The ACES program that we also assist the district with, they have a 1 to 20. But I am guessing that because of the needs that the kids are going to have with, you know, just managing all of this, I don't see our pod sizes going past 15. We will probably allow up to 15 per pod, knowing that on certain days, because parents don't work or for other reasons, kids may choose to stay home. But I don't think that the pods will anytime soon get over that number. Saul's iPhone. Hold on. I don't know why it says I've unmuted everyone.
How do I raise my hand?
Saul, can you? Nope, not yet.
How do I raise my hand? Oh.
I can't get Saul's iPhone off. It says all participants are unmuted.
How about now?
Oh, there, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I had the question about drop-off. So I was interested in the enrichment program that starts at 3 to 6 and then Fridays all day. But my question was, I would be at work at that time. So do you guys have something in place for those parents that are working at that time and someone else will be dropping off the kids, and those kids, the people that are dropping off the kids cannot stay for the child to be screened? I mean, I'm personally a nurse, so I would not send my kid sick to school. You know what I mean? But do you guys have something in place?
So you're saying that your child will be dropped off and whoever's dropping them off will not be able to wait for them to do the temperature check?
Correct. Do you guys have something worked out for the parents that will be at work in the middle of the day?
I would say that we would hope that the person that's dropping them off could wait while we do the temperature check. I mean, we can try to work with you and maybe meet at the gate or something to make it easier. But for the most part, because that's such an important part of what we have to do, we really need to screen the child before we can bring them in. You know, we can't force you from driving away, but what we're doing is we're asking everyone to stay long enough for us to screen the child. So if whoever's going to drop them off can, you know, just give us a moment or two to do that, that would really help us.
Okay.
Are you? Wow, my mic's not working.
Thank you so much. And thank you for what you do. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other? Oh, Mona.
Mona's muted. Oh,
Mona.
Unmute. Unmute, Mona. Oh, Shanna, she's muted.
Mona.
Yes, hello. Hi, we're new to Burbank and we'll be attending Bret Hart, the program. I'm sure I'm not alone with the rest of parents on here that spring distance learning on the Zoom was incredibly challenging. What kind of, for lack of a better word, disciplinary strategies have you guys discussed? Maybe it was just me that she threw a fit with not sitting in front of the Zoom, but I'm just anticipating something similar may happen. Have you guys discussed that? And I guess just a little bit about the philosophy of that in general at the club. Is there a good and bad behavior chart, or can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I think Lupe, you better answer that one.
Yeah. Well, first, we don't have a good and bad behavior chart. All our kids are amazing and wonderful. We get it. You know, our staff, you know, are very experienced, and we're very lucky to have the staff that we have that have been with us for a few years now. So we're really big on positive reinforcement. So we get it. It's stressful times. It's hard for even for an adult to sit in front of a computer for 3 hours, 2 hours, even an hour alone, right? And be fully focused. So we understand that. So there is still the level of patience and compassion that our staff have with our members. So for anyone that we observe that is having a difficult time, you know, it's more of a conversation and figuring out what is going on. They may be having trouble with the material. So it's really just communicating with the club member. Another thing that we do is, depending on whatever the scenario is with the club member, we are very good at communicating with parents. And as soon as we observe some sort of difficulty, we make sure that we write up a guidance report. And it's just a way for document everything and communicate with our staff, with our parents. And depending again on the situation, it could be a phone call. And you know, one of our practices have been where we get the child on the phone and speak to their parent, and whatever the parent tells them, for it big difference. So also that piece. But it just, you know, going back to, for the club, you know, staff, we're considered mentors. So we're really big on practicing positive reinforcement. So anything that has to do with like or expulsion, that is typically like the last resort. And it also depends on the scenario. So
LRRP.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, so positive reinforcement and communication with the parent and the club member.
Thank you, Lupe. Okay, I'm going to, because we are just about out of time, just thank everyone again for joining us. If you still have a question that was not answered, you can reach out to Arpine or Surly, who put their contact information in the search box, and you can always reach out to me as well. I'll give you my email and I'll say it slowly. It's Shanna, SHANNA, Warren, WARREN, at bgcburbank.org. So please feel free to reach out to us. We are very grateful that you're entrusting your children in our care. We promise to do the very best we can. Please be patient with us, and we look forward to seeing all of your kids soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.